2020 has not been a good year. The travel industry, like many others, has been hard hit. The initial COVID outbreak was overwhelming, coping with repatriations, stranded passengers, complex refund issues, and much, much more. Now the challenges our industry faces are even more serious, and time is not on our side. We need a government source that understands our industry as a whole, not just in part. We, like many others, need financial support that is fit for purpose. Reducing hours isn't an option for many in travel. We need clear and concise communication and collaboration with those involved in developing policies. We want to help. We want to be part of the solution. We want to be heard. And our team want to tell you more now about the issues that we face.
We as an industry have worked really hard throughout this pandemic to support the most important part of our business, our customers. At the start of the pandemic, we worked to repatriate those abroad, and then as time went on, we worked to rebook customers, cancel bookings where necessary, and then start to apply for refunds. It's been really stressful, very hard work, and all for zero earnings.
So many travel businesses have had to pay back all of the commissions that they earned on holidays that were cancelled. Couple that with the fact that the whole world practically is closed for travel. That means the travel industry is now faced with a double financial whammy.
Many of our industry colleagues, me included, have had little or no help from the government support schemes. I lost my job with Thomas Cook last year and started in a self-employed role with Designer Travel. I was doing really well until COVID came along. I couldn't apply for furlough grant as I hadn't been self-employed for long enough. And I also couldn't apply for universal credit as I did actually manage to get some redundancy when Thomas Cook folded, which took me over my meagre savings. So I couldn't apply for that either. And yet I've paid taxes and national insurance all my working life.
Obtaining refunds has been so stressful for our customers and the travel business as a whole. Credit notes for future holidays made perfect sense, but it took so long for the government seal of approval that customers lost faith in this solution and asked for their cash back.
The Foreign Office advice has been unclear, complicated, and at best has caused many issues with insurance companies. Some airlines have chosen to ignore Foreign Office advice and guidance and continued their schedules. This has caused much stress and anxiety and left many people financially out of pocket.
The announcement of travel corridors gave us hope. This vital step in the right direction was blighted and turned into a living nightmare, with mixed messages, short notice changes and poor communication. A combination of factors saw us losing the customer confidence we'd worked so very hard to rebuild.
Travel corridors were focused at country level for months, which made no sense. We all understood that the mainland had high levels of COVID infections, but the Canaries and Balearics, as an example, were under the government threshold at the time of 20 in 100,000. It felt like the computer was saying no and that the forms were not fit for purpose.
We worked hard together with our customers using the data available to make informed choices about quarantine-free travel, only to be faced with speedy announcements and changes to policies that meant our customers had no option but to try to fly home within a 48-hour timeframe or risk losing their jobs and livelihoods. Turkey is one case in point.
Twitter Thursday is dreaded in the travel industry. It's often through tweets that we learn about changes to corridors, and it's almost always resulting in disappointment. Even in the very early days, there was very little balance, so destinations off the list, but very minimal additions. And then added to the complications was the different policies for the different parts of the UK. So again, complexity upon complexity. To go or not to go? That really is the question.
the number of COVID-related cases being linked to overseas travel seems quite small. Here's some interesting figures. Of the 1.2 billion passengers who've travelled overseas since the beginning of 2020, there have actually only been 44 COVID-related cases that have been reported. So just to repeat those figures, that's 1.2 billion passengers and 44 COVID-related cases reported. Think about that.
Many countries around the globe moved to faster testing on arrival or departure months ago, and this seems to have been successful. Our progress has been painfully slow. If Greece can do it, if Portugal can do it, if Jersey can do it, then why can't we?
The infrastructure in place for arranging private COVID testing is of little help, in that locations, availability and speed of testing is restricted. Testing can't be part of the solution until there are more clinics offering more appointments and costs are reduced dramatically.
The outbound travel sector has no voice in government. No one fully understands the complexities of the industry and how different businesses interconnect. They need each other for survival. This is crucial for an industry that adds billions to the UK economy.
Thank you for listening so far, and I'd just like to take this opportunity to summarise the situation. The outbound travel sector brings in revenues of around £37 billion into the United Kingdom and is responsible for the jobs of around 500,000 people. The outbound travel industry is very, very complex, and at the moment we are seeing really good, successful, solid businesses fail on a daily basis. We need help from the government, and we need it fast, because many other viable businesses are literally on a knife edge. We need a job support scheme that will help us and enable us to continue to serve our customers whilst in most cases losing money, and at the same time help us to pay our teams to keep them in a job for when travel is allowed again. We need the government to look at the individual support that many in the travel industry just haven't been able to get. They have fallen through the schemes and they are literally the forgotten ones, many of whom have paid taxes into the United Kingdom for years and years in previous jobs. We also need clear and concise communication from the government, and that would be amazing to be mirrored across the United Kingdom. We need the regional corridor strategy to be reviewed. It seems mad that islands that are part of countries just aren't reviewed on a regular basis and are not opened up when deemed to be safe. It feels like a very slow process. We need faster airport testing. This would open up travel in a safe way. If Madeira can do it, why can't we in the United Kingdom? We need the private sector testing to be enhanced. At the moment, it's very limited in its location, it's very limited in terms of its capacity, and it's also very, very expensive, which really does not help the sector. But most importantly, we need a voice in government. We need a minister that fights our corner, that actually takes the time to understand our industry, because it is complex, but we all care about our customers. We all want to do the right thing. And at the moment, we are all working so very hard to lose money with very, very little help from the government. We need help and support, and we need it fast, because many, many businesses, solid, viable businesses, are on a knife edge. Thank you for listening.